Satnam. Hi Astro friends and family. My name is Karine. I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher and also astrologer, and I work on Lada's channel. And today we are going to talk about career and money for 12 signs in 2023. And remember, this is a general reading, so everyone has a different chart. So if you want a specific one for yourself, you can check the link below and you can find the information how to book reading with me. So before we start, just a quick introduction how I read the chart and also how you can use this reading. So I use tropical zodiac and the whole sign house system, and I apply Vedic astrology techniques in all my readings. So please don't use any unequal house system for this reading. Traditionally, people use sidereal zodiac and in Vedic astrology. But Ernst Wilhelm, the teacher that I learned from, if you're interested in astrology, you must have heard of this person. And he stopped using sidereal zodiac for Vedic astrology. I think it's in 2005, because he tests tropical and sidereal for all the Vedic techniques. And tropical trumps every time. So that's why he stopped using sidereal for Vedic astrology, I think at least 10 years ago. So this is where and how I learned from him, and this is also how I'm going to do my readings. And usually I use planetary dristis, like each planet, they have a specific eyesight, and when they shoot the eyesight to different places, that also sends the influence to the houses. But because the topic today is about career and money, so I will only mention the aspect, the dristi that is related to this topic. So not every aspect will be mentioned. So Jupiter will be in Aries from 21st of December and will stay in this sign until 16th of May in 2023. So that means right now, Jupiter is very soon to entering into Aries and will stay there for at least 5 months. And then Jupiter will enter Taurus from 17th of May, and then we will stay there for a year. So until 25th of May 2024. And Saturn will enter in Pisces on 7th of March and will stay there until 13th of February 2026. So almost 3 years time. But in between, Saturn will enter into Aries for a brief time and then will go back to Pisces. So approximately 3 years time. And so this reading is good if you look at from your rising sign as well as your moon sign. In Vedic astrology, apart from the birth chart, they also have this moon chart. So it means that we read everything from the moon's perspective, moon's placements. So your moon signs become your ascendant, your first house. And so you can look at the transits from the moon, and it's called Gochara in Vedic astrology. That's the specific term for that. And you can also, if you like, you can also turn your charts, like your birth chart, and read from your moon placements. Particularly if you're over 50 years old, it's good to look at from your moon chart, because all the planets will be mature during that time. For example, Rahu matures at the age of 42 and Ketu matures at the age of 48. So all the planets and the 2 points, they will be mature. And if you read from your moon, you will also feel more consciously and emotionally connected to the prediction, because moon rules our consciousness and emotions. And this reading, it's not so much about looking at from your sun sign, but if you like listen from your sun sign, you can do that as well. Now, there are several rising signs for next year. They are quite important. They are having a big year next year in 2023. So like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Pisces, and Leo. They all have planets go through their first house, particularly Aries and Taurus. These two signs, they have planets go through their 12th house as well as their first house. So they're having the beginning and also the ending happening at the same time. So this is like big year. Why first house is very important is because when planets transit in the first house, it's the most important transit in life. The first house rules you, your path in life, your identity, who you are. The planets that are transiting through the first house are going to have a profound impact on your growth. And the planets that move through the first house is going to make you who you are, make you become who you're meant to be, and also lay out the path for you. And because the ascendant is always about learning to becoming the best version of you along the path. So when planets move through the first house, each planet will do what it needs to do to help you to become better in your life. For example, different planets, they have different mission. Particularly when planets move through your first house and go retrograde, becomes extremely important. That's why Jupiter and Saturn, when they transit your first house, is always important, because these two planets, they always they go retrograde when they transit in one sign. Venus, Mercury, and Mars, they are fast-moving planets, but when they transit your first house and go retrograde, they become extremely important. Aries rising, Aries moon. So Saturn will transit through your 12th house from March 2023, and it will stay there until February 2026, so almost 3 years' time. And Jupiter will move through your first house from December 2022 and will stay there until mid-May in 2023, so 5 months' time. And then afterwards, Jupiter will transit into your second house and will stay there for 1 year. So I like to start with Jupiter. Jupiter will enter into your first house from December to mid-May. December now, like 21st of December 2022, and it will stay there until mid-May in 2023, 5 months' time. Jupiter transit in the first house is a very, very important transit, because in Vedic astrology, wherever a planet crosses the ascendant and goes retrogrades, becomes really, really important. That makes these planets and also the transits is extremely significant for your life path, for your growth. When people have a Jupiter transit the first house, the major experience they're going to have is expansion. And this expansion could happen in 3 different areas, like your money, wisdom, and happiness, because Jupiter is the significator of money, happiness, and wisdom. So the experience during this transit is not necessarily exclusive. It can also happen in 3 of these areas at the same time. During the transits, one of the key things that you're going to experience is money. And it could be some positive developments in your money situation. And it could also be that you start earning money. Perhaps you start making your money for the first time, or you start making more money with your business. And perhaps it could be that you finally pay off your debt. And usually when we have some money, it truly opens us out to possibilities, because we have more leverage. We have this freedom to explore, to learn, to grow. And, because sadly, this world, everything costs money. If you want to see your guru, if you want to do some healing, if you want to learn, they all cost money. So when we do have some money, it really opens us out to all the great possibilities that are awaiting in front of us. So that's exactly what Jupiter does. It expands us. But sometimes when Jupiter transit the first house can also bring some financial struggles, financial pressure, and that is because Jupiter wants you to reflect on how you use your money, what you need to do with your money, and learn to use your money wisely. So whether you have a positive development in your money situation during this transit, or you have a struggle one, ultimately, Jupiter wants to show you the bigger lesson, like your belief about money, your value for money, and the relationship between happiness and money. So it's not just about bringing, expansion to your money situation. That's it, because Jupiter is a significator of wealth. Whatever it does, it wants to bring some meaning and purpose and wisdom to it. And another manifestation when Jupiter transits the first house, it could happen is that you can meet someone who has a profound impact on you, like a teacher, guru, advisor, or it could be a book, it could be a talk, it could be a video, or someone who helps you to, understand things or look at things from a different perspective. So it's a very important transit for Aries rising. And other things when it comes to Jupiter transits the first house is that first house rules you, your confidence. So it can increase your self-confidence level, how you feel about yourself, how you envision about your life, your future. You become more positive, optimistic about the path you're on. It brings inspirations about where you want to go, what you want to do, and also who you like to become. You receive more opportunities to direct you on the path that will bring you more happiness. And when Jupiter transits in the first house, opportunities for new career can present itself. Or if you've been trying to, start some projects, business projects, and have some difficulties, now is a good time, and you will feel more confident in what you're doing. So this is a very good time for business development. And you will also be inspired to travel during this transit, to see the world, to explore different cultures. First house rules the body. So there will be good luck in your health, in your body. And Jupiter brings more prana, life force to your body. So you will have more energy. Then back to Saturn. So we jump back to Saturn because Saturn will travel through your 12th house from March 2023. So there will be a little bit of overlapping when Jupiter transits your first house. At the same time, Jupiter will stay in your 12th house a few months. So there will be a few months overlapping time. And 12th house is another important house. Any planets that transits the 12th house is very important. We mentioned earlier, when planets transit the first house, the planet is going to make you, shape you, and develop you. So when planets move through the 12th house, that's when we get our fulfillment, conclusion, and finishing business that are related to the planets, which is Saturn for you in this case. So you have beginning and ending happening at the same time. This is a major transition for Aries. And 12th house rules like losses and expenditure. But in Vedic astrology also rules, one of the interesting things is it rules our last desire. It's like the last desire that you gain or fulfill before you move on to the next level, which is the first house. And by fulfilling that desire, you get the sense of peace, sense of equanimity. So you can finally let go of things that are related to the planets, related to Saturn, and move on to the next level. And that's the higher manifestation of 12th house, to have a peace with that, to have a peace with your lessons with Saturn, to have peace with desires that are related to Saturn. And Saturn is to do with material achievements, responsibilities, financial burdens. It could be debt and material hardship in life and stress from life. And Saturn also represents health, because Saturn is a significator of 6th house, so it rules health in Vedic astrology. So these are the topics that you're going to experience when Saturn transits in the 12th house. You might have a conclusion with those topics. You might have a fulfillment with those conclusions, or you might have to suffer with those topics. Which one is which? It really depends on your whole chart. But you will notice some health issues during the transits, especially if you haven't been taking care of your body, if you haven't been, taking care of your health, ignoring your health. When Saturn transits in the 2nd house, you might suffer from lack of energy, you might suffer from bad health, or you have a hard time managing your health. So you realize that you need to restructure, rebuild your body, your health. And Saturn also represents like material achievements, and it also rules the work. So if you've been working hard, doing things step by step, persevering, when Saturn transits in your 12th house, it will give you the resolution, fulfillment to those material problems. For example, you might finally pay off your debts, or you finally reach the status that you always wanted. It gives you this sense of fulfillment. Or you finally achieve all the material achievements. Now you can finally retire and let go of all the worldly responsibilities. On the other hand, if you haven't been working on or learning Saturn's lessons, and also if you have a afflicted Saturn in your chart, when Saturn transits in the 12th house, you can get into more stress and struggle in life. For example, like financial burdens, material burdens, or maybe get into debt or trouble with your achievements, health, and so on. Like I said, the 12th house acts like the last desire. So either you enjoy it, relax, and move on, or you suffer more and you just want to get rid of those things. For example, like achieve certain kind of social status might be, the things that you really want to achieve. But if you haven't been working towards that direction, if you haven't been following Saturn's rules, and if you have an afflicted Saturn in your chart, you might not find achieving your material status is very good for you. You might just want to get rid of that. Things like that can happen. And career-wise, Saturn transit in the 12th house can create some blocks in your imagination. So if you're an artist, or if your work requires imagination, like filming, writing, painting, creative activities, or anything that brings the imagination to life, you'll feel the most. But if you work in the research field, in the lab, or something to do with the subconscious mind, your work and the research will become more structured and systematic, even though the process might slow down, but it will be produced in a more careful and regulated manner. So that's the benefits when Saturn transits in the 12th house if you work in those professional fields. Charitable service, nonprofit organization, or multinational companies will also go well during this transit, but still there will be some delays. And Saturn rules karma. It rules, karma in a spiritual term. And on the mundane level, karma means your actions, the actions that we take. So when it transits the second house, it's good to do seva. Seva is a Sanskrit word. It means selfless activities, selfless service. So this is a good time to offer your service to the world, your charitable action towards the society. You may want to volunteer in a charity or animal rescue center. And when Saturn transits the 12th house, is also good for you if you want to take a sabbatical year. So for example, one of my good friends, she's Aries rising, and then it's very interesting that she's actually taking a sabbatical year in 2023, and she's always wanted to travel the world, to see the world, and she never traveled alone before, so this is like a really bold move for her. And she's been spending like 10 plus years pursuing material achievement and security. So this is a very different like step for her to do. And she wants to, because Jupiter is also in the first house, so she wants to explore the world and discover who she is, her interests, and also her life mission. So it really corresponds to what I mentioned earlier, like Jupiter transit in the first house, indicating travels, expansion in knowledge, and also your self-discovery. So Aries, this is a big year as you have Jupiter transit in the first house for the next 5 months, and followed by Saturn transit in the 12th house immediately. So you literally have beginning and ending going on at the same time. It's a major transition. And as Jupiter brings like this expansion and then comes with contraction, with Saturn brings for almost 3 years time. So it's like you're having a celebration of life, then come to the point. I can't say it's drop, but it comes to the point where you need to learn to let go and go within, introspect about your life, and also let go of certain ideas, certain things in regards to Saturn's lessons and the things that Saturn rules. So it can be quite tough because you're coming from a high point, like celebration of life, and coming to, contraction. But just like any spiritual development, every expansion comes with contraction. It is when we're in this contraction stage, we integrate and complete and learn more our lessons. So I wish all Aries have an easy process. If not, I wish that you could meet your gurus who can guide you through this process. Okay, so that was a brief review about your career and money in the upcoming year. I wish you a year of abundance, supports, love, wisdom, and guidance. And if you need a personal reading, you can find the information in the link below. Thank you.